Hello friends and welcome to Top of the Stack MTG. Tonight we've got another fun video for you. This is how to get started in Magic. Let's say you just went to the pre-release. It's the first Magic the Gathering oriented thing that you've done. You got a bunch of cards. You had a great time. You head home. What next? What do you do now? Of course, the first thing you're going to want to do is go through all your cards. If you went to the pre-release, you probably have a good 96 cards, 91 cards, something weird like that. Go through them, read them, enjoy them. They're so great with the art, with the powers and the different combinations that you can put them in. The flavor text is so fun. Get to know your cards. Really get to know them. And the next thing that I would do is probably go pick up a bundle. Bundle, they used to be called a fat pack. Okay, so you can say, I need a Kaladesh bundle, or an Aether Revolt bundle, or an Amonkhet bundle. I would recommend an Amonkhet bundle, because if you went to the pre-release and that was your introduction, that's the set you just got cards from. So you're going to want to pick up a Kaladesh bundle on Friday, right? Not tomorrow, but the next day, because that's when the set comes out. And it's going to be awesome. The bundle, I heard a rumor. I don't know that this is true. I have not been able to verify this, but somebody typed somewhere that the bundle was going to come with all of the tokens in a little pack, because Amonkhet has a ton of tokens. So they might pre-package all the tokens together in there. So you'll have a cat token and a rhino token and a snake token and on and on. Super fun. I would recommend picking up that bundle. It also comes with like 9 packs, which is excellent. So you'll be able to open more packs, get to know more cards, and continue working on decks that you're putting together. I would also grab a way to present your cards so that they're easier to go through rather than just holding a big stack of cards and trying to read them. You can pick up these sleeves that will hold 9 cards. You just put them in like this and then put them in a 3-ring binder. And then you can just look through the binder looking at all your different cards. That's an excellent way to do it. A lot of people sort their cards alphabetically or maybe by color and then alphabetically. And that's actually the way that Wizards of the Coast does it. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the cards, there's a number on it. That's the number of the card, and then per how many are in the set. So 1 per 260, or whatever. Yeah, so go ahead and get yourself some plastic sleeves. Put your cards in order inside the sleeves in a 3-ring binder maybe, so that you can look at them. There's all kinds of crazy binders out there. You could spend anything from $1.50 to $50 on a binder for cards. Some, as you know, you can have 4 copies of each card in a standard 60-card deck. So some binders actually have 4 pockets in each row so that you can put 4 of the same card across and then 4 of the same card across. Pretty brilliant, actually. That's what I prefer personally. But I think I might make another video about that kind of stuff. For now, you just want to have a fun way to look at your cards. So you might just want to pick up some Ultra Pro card sleeves and a 3-ring binder. Just put them in there and get to know them, Find out, boy, I'm missing 7 cards between 420 and 426 or 428 or whatever. Then you're going to become aware of what you have, what you don't have, what you still need. What do you have 4 of? Things like that. It's kind of fun. Kind of put them in order and see what you think. Then I would definitely start building decks. For me, personally, the biggest draw to this game is you get to create your deck. I mean, I think that's the thing that made Magic so successful, to be honest with you. The collecting side of it is big, right? Baseball cards have always been very popular. That's a big thing. But to combine that with you build your army, you build your deck, and you take that thing that you have created and you pit it against somebody else's that they have created, that's incredible. That's the real draw of this game. The internet makes it very simple to look at decks that other people have built, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make it very clear. Okay, it's fun to see what other ideas people have and kind of mix them up a little bit. Maybe combine a couple things. See what you can do with other people's ideas. But it's also super fun to just come up with your own. So definitely start building decks, right? If you see a card that's -1 counters, you could build a whole deck around that if you wanted. You got a Minotaur that helps other Minotaurs. Build a Minotaur deck. There's cats. You know what I mean? There's very simple theme decks that you can easily get pushed into just by reading cards. Those are kind of my favorite, the simplest theme decks. First thing I'm going to build when I'm able is a cat deck, of course, because that's super fun on Friday. Yes, so build a bunch of decks. You can get little boxes. Here's a little box. It just happened to be sitting here. These are like $1.50 each. Get yourself some deck boxes. You can write on the top what kind of deck it is. And build a bunch of decks. Take them over to your friend's place and battle each other. Or, you can take them to the card shop. See if somebody just wants to play, who's just hanging out. Hopefully you have people that you can play with, that you can test out these new decks on, because it's super fun. So start building decks and getting cards, of course. Buying that bundle is going to be a great thing. If you can ever just go grab a pack on your way home from work or whatever, you're passing the shop, go grab a pack. You pay $3.50, $4, whatever. Grab a pack, go home, open it up, see what you got, put it in your book. It's great. Try to build a new deck. Once you've done a lot of that, and you're thinking, okay, I am ready to go beyond the cards that I own. I got a bunch of Amonkhet, and I feel good about Amonkhet, but I want to get into Standard maybe, or I just want to see what other cards there are, because there's so many. This game's been around for almost 25 years. It's insane how many cards there are. So you want to expand a little bit. The best way that I have found to do that is to find a deck builder on the computer. I'm sure there's tons of free ones. I know there's a bunch that you can pay for. You need to find a deck builder. And the only reason I say this is because you want it to be able to sort cards for you. So for instance, I use a deck builder called Decked. It's a weird name. Decked. Decked Builder. And I should tell you right now, it costs money. And no, they haven't asked me to make this video. Okay? This is a very small channel, very young channel. I don't have any sponsors, nothing like that. It just so happens to be what I use. It costs like $6. And they update it constantly, so all the new sets are in there. And the greatest thing about it is you choose which sets you want to look at, and then you type in a keyword. So I can say, I want to look at Aether Revolt and Amonkhet, and I want to look for zombies. And then it will pull all the cards that say the word zombie from those two sets. Now, the reason you want to have this is because the shops around you, the game shops, where hopefully you're buying all your cards from. Yeah, hopefully there's one close by that you can go to. You have friends there. You get to know them. Having a good game shop near your house is a very great thing. Hopefully that's going to be true for you. Go there and you can buy singles. So you can say, I've never seen that zombie before. That would be amazing in my zombie deck. I need to buy 4 of those. Rather than saying, all right, I need to start collecting Aether Revolt. Because this hobby can be incredibly expensive. It truly can. And if you don't really have the money to be going crazy like this, you don't need to. You don't need to start collecting Aether Revolt unless you want to. You can use Decked, do a search for a specific type of card that you're looking for, find it, go to the local dollar game store, and pay $1.10 per card, and buy 4 of them for your deck. It's that simple. Go pay $4, pick up 4 cards, put them in your deck. Okay? I would also recommend that you really start using sleeves for your decks. Not only get a deck box, but also get sleeves for your decks. You can watch the professor's videos on deck boxes and binders and sleeves. He's got all kinds of amazing information. It's totally worth it. Okay? Go check it out. But get sleeves for a couple reasons. Number one, it helps your cards stay nice so that they don't become marked. Because if you have a card that gets bent in half on accident and you go try to play it at a game shop and somebody notices that it's bent in half, they're probably going to ask you to take it out of your deck and replace it with something, because you know when that card is coming, and now they know when that card is coming, and the whole dynamic of the game gets screwed up, right? The card is marked. It's cheating to use it. You shouldn't do it. But the easiest way around anything like that ever happening is buy sleeves. Use sleeves to protect your cards so they don't get marked. Also, sleeves make it so easy to shuffle. It's so hard to shuffle these little pieces of cardboard. It's crazy. They are not the most high quality cards in the world. And I think they get away with that because everybody uses sleeves. So it's okay, right? You don't need to make the strongest cards if people are going to be putting them in sleeves anyway. So get some sleeves. Put all your cards in sleeves, and then when you shuffle, you'll be amazed at how often you're able to get really good shuffles. I believe you'll probably mana flood less if you have sleeves rather than not having sleeves and trying to just shuffle that paper. It's crazy. So yes, get some sleeves. Sorry. Good. So use Decked Builder. Now, you want to be buying the cards that are the most versatile, because you don't know where you're going to end up, what you're going to want to do with your cards. Do you want to play Standard? Do you want to play Frontier? Do you want to play Modern? Do you want to play Commander? You don't know where you're going to end up as a player, so you're going to want to buy the most versatile cards you can. The cards that will be legal in all of those formats for as long as you can, so that when you make your decision, you still have some cards that you can play with. Therefore, I recommend that you stick to Kaladesh, Aether Revolt, Amonkhet, and the new set that's coming out, I think, in the summertime, called Hour of Devastation. Those 4 sets, which make up 2 blocks, by the way, people are going to be like, the Kaladesh block. They mean Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. Or they'll say the Amonkhet block, which is Amonkhet and Hour of Revolt. And of course, Hour of Revolt hasn't come out yet. It'll come out soon. So right now, I would stick to these 3 sets. I would stick to the Kaladesh block and Amonkhet when you're going through your deck builder and picking sets and then typing in keywords to search for. Only put in those 3 sets, because the other sets that are currently in standard, which are Battle for Zendikar, Oath of the Gatewatch, Shadows over Innistrad, and Eldritch Moon, those 4 sets, which are 2 blocks, are going to rotate out in the fall. In the fall, I think October, in 6 months, none of those cards will be legal in standard anymore. A big chunk of cards will be leaving standard in the fall. So until you decide, I want to play Frontier, don't buy those cards. Okay? Because when they rotate, they're going to drop drastically in value. Without a format that uses those cards regularly, their price is going to tank. And Modern does not use those cards regularly. Okay? Modern's just been around for so long. It can't absorb all the new cards that are made. That's the reason they need a new format. And eventually they'll get around to it. Good. So stick to the Kaladesh block and the Amonkhet block. Buy cards from those 2 blocks to build the awesome decks that you're thinking up. Okay? Good. Then, once you've made a couple of decks with your deck builder and you went and bought the cards and you've got 2 or 3 decks, you should start going to Friday Night Magic. Hopefully your friends want to go with you. It's amazing fun. Okay? You go there, you bring your standard deck, right? You sit down, they pair you up. It's really just like the pre-release was, except you just use your pre-made deck. You don't build a deck once you get there. You use your pre-made deck. Oh, that's another thing I should say about the bundle. If you're just starting, you don't have any lands.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Sorry. You don't have any lands. So the bundle comes with a huge pack of lands. So that's going to be a great thing for you. Yeah, so you can build a bunch of decks. Start going to Friday Night Magic. It's great fun. One quick thing I want to warn you about in Standard. When you go to a pre-release or you draft, you get all the cards you open. Plus you get a prize most of the time. Some shops like to keep the entry price way down so they don't give out prizes if you lose, which we're all going to lose a bunch. Okay, just saying out loud. But most places charge an entry fee and then you get prizes for playing. So you can get kind of spoiled drafting and doing pre-release because you get a bunch of cards. Now, if you go play Standard, they don't hand you a bunch of packs. You already have your deck built. So if they don't give out prizes for Standard to keep the entry price down, you're not going to leave with anything. So it can feel strange, but don't let it bug you. Okay, you choose to go play Standard to play with the cards. It's fun. And maybe you can tell yourself, and then I'm going to spend $8 and buy 2 packs, right? Just so you get something out of going to the shop, aside from hanging out with all these cool people and playing cards all night. Just so it's not disappointing, okay? Because I know when we do pre-release, in Chicago on pre-release weekend, there's 5 different pre-releases. Friday at midnight, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. I do all 5 of them if I'm able, if I can get the time off of work. Generally, my wife will do 2 or 3. So if we have 8 pre-release packs, pre-release kits with 6 packs each in them, that's a ton of cards. Plus, if we get our prize packs, right? In Chicago, the place that we go, you always get at least 2 packs. So then we're getting 2 more per the 8. So that's another 16 packs. I mean, by the time it's over, we can have 2 full booster boxes worth of packs that we get to sort, put in books, and build decks out of. And then the next week, we go to play Standard, which is just one event, Friday night. We've already pre-built the deck. We both don't do very well, and we end up walking out with a pack each. That's really different. So just beware. There's nothing wrong with it, but it feels different, okay? I'm sure that entering a Standard event on Friday night is a lot cheaper than doing a pre-release. I think Standard's $10 and the pre-release is $25. Something weird like that, because they don't hand you a bunch of packs. Okay? Good. Yeah, sorry. Going on about that. So, once you're at Friday Night Magic and you're playing some Standard and you're having fun, you're going to realize you can also draft on Friday nights. At least in most places. I think they'll try to fire drafts and do Standard. Both. And drafting is also great fun. It's slightly strange. It's a weird thing. I don't do it very often at all. What happens is they hand you 3 packs, then you all sit down together, and then they say go. You crack the first pack, you pick one card that you like, and you give all the rest of the cards to the person on your left. Then you take this one, pick one, pass it. This one, pick one, pass it. And then when those are all gone, you crack the second pack. Pick one you like, pass it to the right. Take this one, pick one, pass it. Take this one, pick one, pass it. Until that one's gone, then you do the third one back to the left. Then from all of these, you build a 40-card deck. They provide the lands, and you do it just like you did a pre-release. It's a strange, interesting thing. But it is great fun if you want that kind of an interaction. I can get a little paranoid sometimes about people having the cards that I'm about to have and giving away a pack that I just opened even though I took my favorite card. And it's hard too because when you draft, you want to pick the card that's best for your deck, not the card that's best for your collection. And that's very difficult for me. I have a tendency to kind of draft for money. Not really money, because none of these cards are worth that much. But if I open a Planeswalker and it's not in the colors that I've been drafting, and it's the third pack, so I don't really have time to change colors, I think I'm going to take the Planeswalker and just pass the rest, which is not the smart choice for drafting, but definitely the smart choice for my pocketbook, right? For later when I'm like, dang it, I want to build this deck, but I need 2 of those Planeswalkers to put in it. Luckily, I drafted and I took that one, right? Good. So drafting is super fun. That's a great thing that you can get into. The neatest thing about drafting is you do get cards for your collection. It's great to then go home and put those cards in your book, Keep filling up the holes that you have so that you can build even more awesome decks. Drafting is great fun, and you should definitely look into it. And playing Standard is great fun. Of course, eventually you're going to say, I want to play a more long-term format. I want to get into Modern, or I want to get into Frontier. The beauty of Frontier is all the new cards are important in Frontier. The negative to Frontier is it doesn't really exist. It's imaginary, okay? It will exist one day, hopefully sooner than later, but I don't know when. It's imaginary right now. Modern, the beauty of it is it exists. You can go online and watch videos of people playing Modern. You can see deck techs of people playing Modern. It's a well-established and beloved format. Any format that is supported is beloved. I'll be honest with you. There's at least 5 formats, right? You got Standard, you got Modern, you got Legacy, you got Commander. I forget the other one. There's an old one. I can't remember, but there's tons of formats. They're all supported. People really love them. Most of the time, people stick with the format that covers the cards they started with. because that's their nostalgia, right? They go to their nostalgia. If you started playing Magic back in 95, you're going to want to go back there. And hopefully you saved your cards, because the negative to Modern and the negative to Legacy and all of that is it's expensive. Now, you guys have probably watched the professor's latest video over at Tolarian Community College, where he talks about how expensive Modern is. And it's crazy. It's a great video, but they are super expensive. There is no way. I mean, it's a month's rent. In some cases, in other cases, it's 2 months' rent. The prices that he lays out, I mean, that's how wide the spread is. It's crazy. It's crazy. But if you have that kind of money and you decide you want to get into that format, that's great. You totally should dive right into that. But once you decide, okay, I do want to play Frontier, I want to expand out even more, then you can learn about what sets are legal in Frontier. It's 2015 core set on. And start picking up cards from those sets, right? Maybe you're feeling a little bit crazy and you decide, all right, I want to buy a booster box of Khans, because Khans has the fetch lands in it, and if I crack any of those, it will kind of pay for the box if I decide to sell them. Kind of. Once again, these cards are not worth much money because there isn't an officially supported format that really uses them. That's why Khans is so popular, because the fetch lands are used in all the other formats. So, yeah. But all of this is getting beyond what we were initially talking about. How to get into Magic. And I think this lays out a really nice order of things to do. Go to a pre-release, grab a bundle from that set, get a book and some sleeves and some pages so that you can view your cards easily and enjoyably. Start building decks. Get yourself some deck boxes so you can keep your decks together. Get yourself a deck building program like Decked, so that you can start branching out into other sets, seeing what's available out there, maybe picking up singles. If you decide you love the entire set, you can start collecting it. Grab yourself a booster box of it if you can afford it, right? You can crack those packs. Maybe you can put together a draft with your buddies. Just sit home with 3 people. Each of you get 3 packs, open them, pass them to the left, pass them to the right, build your little decks, and then at the end they all come back to you. Or maybe you all pitch in together and everybody gets to keep their cards. It's great. It's a great fun way to get to know those cards, right? Whatever you want to do, you should do. Buy singles from the shop that's by you. If you find a single that you want to pick up 4 copies of to put it in your deck, go ahead and buy them from the shop there to help support the secondary market there, help support your shop. It's very important. And then go to some Friday Night Magic releases, some drafts, and eventually decide what format you want to land in. All right, have a great night. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe. We're almost up to 100 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed. And yeah, have a great night.